Hi everyone, I'm back with a quick layout update this week. Just a few bits and bobs I've been up to over the past few weeks. So, company called Trains and Terrains sent me a few 3D printed bits and bobs to have a mess around with and just show you guys. So I've been making a bit of headway getting those painted up and on the layout, which are really nice. So I've got some extra telegraph poles, a couple of bikes, some containers to go on one of my flat wagons, and then a whole assortment of bits and bobs, buckets, tools, jerry cans, toolboxes, loads of different stuff. So I got all these out the sprues in some cases, but for some of them I left them on the sprues because I thought that might be easier, and I just gave them a quick undercoat. The only spray paint I had was red, so that's why I'm spray painting them red, but I guess it doesn't really matter what base coat I used. And a couple of wagons I was finishing up here that I was going to incorporate with these too. So I've painted both of these and I needed to put some transfers on, so I've just gloss varnished them, which gives the transfer something nice to stick to. One of those wagons was a kit that a viewer very kindly sent me because he didn't need any more. And the other one was an old Dapol wagon. So I've got everything undercoated. I really like these bikes. They're so fine, so I had to be really careful with these not to break anything when I got them out the sprues. So everything's got a nice even undercoat. I like to use the Citadel spray paints because they give like a really nice smooth finish. And I've got the transfers done on that box van now, and then the same for the conflat wagon as well. For some reason, that's why, it was the Dapol one, so that's why it didn't come with any containers, but I think the Hornby and Bachmann versions of these do come with the containers already on them. But the plan is to have, I think, 3 of these. I found it quite hard to find photos of these wagons in service, but I've seen a few people seem to run them and I've seen the odd photo of them. So this is them painted up. So I literally just did them a cream colour. Where those panels are on them should be some kind of transfer, so I'll have to add that, but I'll go back and show you that wagon in a sec. But I mentioned a viewer sending me some bits and bobs that they didn't need anymore, and included in that little package was some additional figures that I was just showing there, and also these really nice fire buckets that I've added to the station platforms. And these are already painted, so I've literally just been able to add them on. Again, this nice little waiting room. I think it's a Great Western one, but it looks nice on my Midland themed platform too. A few more extra suitcases that I've added there that this guy's sorting out. And I've added a few more passengers that this viewer also painted up for me, which is this guy and his dog. So it's the first dog to appear on the layout, which is long overdue. A few more passengers sitting down, a few more sacks and barrels and bits and bobs. A couple more fire buckets there. One of them's fallen over, so I've just sorted that out. Little family sitting on the bench. Weigh scales to weigh some suitcases. A few more people sitting around. So it's just added a bit more life to the scene, really. I quite like having a busy platform, although I don't think a branch like this would have had this many passengers back in the day. It's more about the atmosphere for me. So guy leaning on their shelter there, 1 or 2 more people just relaxing at the end of the platform. And then I also added a couple of people to these cottages on the lane leading up away to where I imagine the village or the town of Misselthwaite to be. So that just adds a little bit of life to that scene. So back to the Trains and Terrains 3D printed bits that they were very kind enough to send me. So I've got a little trolley there that I think would run on rails, looking at the flanges on the wheels, but I'm going to use it as a platform trolley, I guess, and put some suitcases on it. And then I've got the bikes there as well that I'm painting up. So I'm just painting the underframe on this and the wheels silver. And then I can get that on the layout. Again, I reviewed some 3D printed products before, and just the quality that people are able to produce now is crazy. Like the finesse and level of detail and the sturdiness of them is really, really good. So this is about done here, so I'm just going to plonk that on there outside the goods shed. And then I'll pinch a couple of these suitcases and put them on the wagon, and that should finish off that scene quite nicely. And then, having finished the bikes, I opted to put one of these by my police box / TARDIS. So I settled just to prop that up against the side of it. And I think I have got a policeman on the platform somewhere, so that might as well be his bike that he's just popped down to the station on. Next up, I had a little stove. So I added that to my coal yard. Again, that's another Trains and Terrains 3D printed piece that was part of that big sprue. So that just adds a little bit of clutter to that yard area. And then also on that sprue were some buckets that I just painted a metallic silver colour. And I just added one of those under the stairs on the signal box where the guys are just chilling out. Just to add a little bit more clutter there. And then the last one, well, I actually added a couple here, but I think I've only shown one. I just popped around these cottages out the front where I already had a few milk churns and buckets and things like that near where the well is. I'll just get a better shot of that there. Just realised I only painted half of that milk churn for whatever reason, so I'll have to touch that up, but that's a project for another day. Anyway, back to the container wagon. So this is it painted up and on the layout. I found these little chains in my spare bits drawer. I didn't have enough to finish it off, but it looks like a kind of a semi-loaded wagon that's in the process of having these containers chained down. So I think it will make a really nice display wagon in the yard almost. So yeah, I've put that in the siding, so it's going to look quite nice as the trains pass it. But if anyone, there should be some transfers to go on these containers. If anyone has any information on what they should be, or a link to them, or anything like that, that would be really helpful. If you might be able to leave it down in the comments, because it does look really nice. Anyway, that's what I've been up to this week. I'll keep it short and sweet. And thank you very much for watching, as always. And of course, I'll leave a link to Trains and Terrains website in the video description if you did want to go and have a look at any of their products and pick any of these up. So thank you very much for watching.